Good afternoon on what is a bright, clear and mild day. It is Monday the 17th of January. I'm back in the Nook with some parcels, a cat who is not ours, and a nice hot cup of tea. And the next thing I am going to pull out is from this little parcel, the one with the nice stamps. And last time I went into this, it's a package from Diogo Nogueira. Last thing I pulled out so far from it, let's have a look. So Sword Quest and Sword Quest Addendum, a couple of a mini role-playing game, and then things like what happens inside a witch's hut and around the campfire, basic book of tables, Screaming Demon Creator, a complete adventure creator around a creator, and then I pulled out this Lost in the Fantasy World, which is a micro RPG about kids stuck in a fantasy world while wielding magical artifacts. Now, the thing about this is it's inspired by something that, as role players, we kind of look on with a set of, certainly in the English-speaking market, a hobby, with a sense of nostalgia and an element of derision, I think, because that is the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. Now, we all sort of like appreciate it for it increasing the reach and basically showcasing Dungeons and Dragons in a way back in the early 80s. But we kind of looked down on it a bit because it was designed for kids, and we weren't kids, we were role players playing a role-playing game. But in Diogo's home country of Brazil, the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon was big. And so big that a few years ago, Renault, the French car manufacturer, actually used the characters in a campaign for their new car, and it was utterly amazing. It was basically a couple of minutes advert, but it was stunning because it was done live action, and you could see who the characters were, and you were thinking, oh my god, if you wanted a Dungeons and Dragons movie that wasn't the one that was coming out, then you really wanted it based on that. I mean, obviously take away the car, but the production values were really, really good. Just for 2 minutes, you're just going, wow. Now, so Lost in the World is a fantasy adventure game where players assume the roles of kids in a world who've been magically transported to a fantasy world with magical monsters. They must desperately try to get back home, but they receive amazing artifacts from a mysterious mentor. These are very powerful, but force them often to choose between going home or staying to help the native people with their many plights. So you see the situation that the characters in the cartoon contend with. You know, they're desperately trying to get home. They're lost, but they've been given these amazing artifacts, whether it's the Cavalier's shield or the Barbarian's club. The magic user's hat, out of which he could pull effects and so on. So that is, although it's not doing it in name, in theme and tone, that's what this is doing. So I've looked at that, but the other thing that came in that package is Lost in the Wood Fantasy World Maze of Many Portals, which is a pamphlet adventure for Lost in the Fantasy World. So a pamphlet adventure folds out like that, and you've got a complete adventure on the back. We have not much of an introduction, but you go straight into random encounters and meeting the Guardian and activating the rooms and so on, explanation of what's going on, and you've got a big maze to explore there. And the adventure procedure is described on the inside. So, you're going, what's this? You've got to take a bit of a look. This adventure is played a little bit differently to both. It is a maze, so finding the right path should be the primary challenge. However, going through hundreds of narrative descriptions of T-junctions will quickly kill the fun of the game. So you've got the maze, the characters are trapped, don't know how to get out, and it's really boring to roleplay. Going, you reach a T-junction, do you go left or right? So they've got a complete mean. Here we have the start of the game. The mentor, referee, will introduce the situation by paraphrasing the following. A few days ago, the mentor appeared before you and told you and your friends about this place, a portal back home, maybe where at this place. The mentor said it is known as the maze of many portals, though it is quite dangerous. And then the players get given a copy of the maze and have to go and explore it. And there's a degree of narrative play to this as well. It's not a D20 system or a Dungeons & Dragons derived set of mechanics. Very simple, rolling a D6 to see whether the player or the mentor rolls higher, and then you narrate the outcome, helped of course by the artifacts and whatever traits that the characters have. But yeah, I think this is an interesting little nostalgia trip in a sense, and this is the sort of thing you might see depicted upon on screen, but would actually be not particularly interesting to play, except with the advice you've gotten here, how staging it. If you've got this and this, you've got basically a pattern adventure, and this will probably provide a session of play or so. Whether or not you would do this one straight off, you might want a couple of adventures where the characters are exploring the world, looking for ways to get home before somebody comes and says, "Oh, here's the way home," and which is what this provides. I would actually really like to see Lost in the Fantasy World kind of expanded beyond these two pamphlets. That would be really interesting to see what a full role-playing game like this would be like. I know Diogo Nogueira has done a couple of, actually 3 role-playing games that are in fanzine format. Perhaps he'll do a version of this in those 2. That would be really great. I would like to see that, and would get the concept to a wider audience, I think, than this will. I will review this, but getting it into a fanzine and further out, I think will attract more attention necessarily than me just reviewing it, of course. So yeah, that's Maze of Many Portals, an adventure for Lost in a Fantasy World. I hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, please do click the like button down below, and of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, appreciate you posting those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me out here with a package containing a game or supplement or book, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea and occasionally a cat who is not ours, then please do hit that subscribe button. Once again, thanks for watching, and we'll be back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.